Hello everyone. So how was your exam? So today we had a science midterm exam, SA1 Science midterm exam, and most of the questions what I did in previous videos, that is short 30 questions or 30 most expected questions. So many questions, around 90% of the questions are from my previous video. Please go back and check. And today we are here to discuss the key answer for your which one? SSLC midterm examination for the year 25-26. So let us go through all the questions and what all the answers are there, and you will understand how many questions you wrote correct answers and all. So first let us start without wasting time with the chemistry and biology. After chemistry and biology, one of my colleague is going to discuss with the physics part. So let us start with the physics questions, the chemistry question, then we'll go for biology. Part B chemistry question, that is the 13th question. That is the 13th question. See here. Among the following reaction, a chemical reaction that resembles reaction in which a reddish brown coat is formed. Reddish brown coat is formed on the shining surface of the iron articles. This is the reaction between the iron and copper sulfate, that displaced copper will deposit on the iron nail. And see the options here: coating of the chromium on the iron articles, wrong. Formation of silver sulfide on the silver articles by oxidation, it's wrong. Obtaining the copper coat on iron nail by the electrolysis, this is the correct option. This is the correct option. If you have mentioned the same answer, you can mention in the comment, and we have discussed this particular concept in my previous videos and all. And formation of gray color silver by the decomposition chloride is wrong. Next one, see here. Next question is the pH value of the solution is 7. They are given the pH value, that is 7, that is neutral solution. And see to the question over here, the pH value of this solution can be increased by adding. pH value increasing means it should go 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That means basic property should increase. That means we will be adding a small amount of sodium hydroxide, that is the correct option. The remaining option, small amount of an acid, pH value will come down. 5 gram of common salt, again it is a neutral, no need. Carbon dioxide through the delivery tube, not required. A small amount of sodium hydroxide, when we add, what will happen? The pH value of this solution can be increased. It will go above the 7. Hope this is clear for you. Next one, see here. Next one. An acid, I told this 100% fixed question, that is either they ask the ant sting or the nettle leaves, stinging hairs of nettle leaves. Very simple, that is the methanoic acid is the correct option, or we generally call it as the what we call formic acid. Okay, so this 3 MCQ is very simple, already we discussed in the previous sessions and all, hope you remember. Now next one, this also I told 100%, one question will arise from rancidity and prevention. Now here they ask very simple question, suggest any 2 methods to prevent rancidity. So many are there, using antioxidant, keeping in the refrigerator, or keeping in airtight container, or flushing the chips by the nitrogen gas. Any 2 you can write. This is very simple question for the 1 mark. Now next one, see here. When sodium sulfate is added to the barium chloride solution, white precipitate will be formed. Which are the ions responsible for this precipitation formation? See here. Okay, sodium sulfate, Na2, SO4, reacting with the barium chloride, it will give what? A white precipitate of barium sulfate. This is the barium sulfate is the white PPT plus sodium chloride, And the question here, you try to understand 1 mark, which are the ions responsible for the precipitate formation, that is barium and sulfate. Ions are responsible for the formation of the white precipitate of the barium sulfate. Hope this is clear. Very simple question. I told you double displacement, 1 question will come, but 1 mark they are. I was expecting for 2 marks, not an issue, but the question has come. Which question has not come, I will tell you. Now see here, this is very simple question, don't get panic. Observe the below depicted experiments. Predict the nature of the salts that form in the beaker A and B. Now see here, beaker A, what they told, they have taken weak acid and weak base, so it will form neutral salt. Strong acid, strong base, neutral salt. Weak acid, weak base, neutral salt. But see here, strong acid and weak base will form which? Strong acid plus weak base is going to give rise to the acidic salt. Which salt it is going to rise? Acidic salt. Correct answer. This one is neutral salt in the beaker A. Beaker B, acidic salt. Hope this is clear. Now next one. This is interesting again. That is the list of very simple questions they ask. List the observation that help us to determine that a chemical reaction has been taking place. By seeing, how can you tell this chemical reaction is taking place? One is by evolution of the gas, by formation of the white precipitate, by producing the light, by producing the sound, by change in the color, by change in the temperature, we can determine that the chemical reaction has taken place. Very simple question. Next one, I told you that 100% these two diagrams will come for your exam. Only two diagrams were there, and those two diagrams were there in your exam. That is electrolysis of water, very simple diagram, and reaction of the zinc with the dilute sulfuric acid or the hydrogen gas liberation or the pop sound diagram. These two, if you want, go back and check. Most expected 30 questions. I told 100% these two diagrams will come. But I was expecting this diagram for 3 marks, but they are for 2 marks, not an issue. But electrolysis of water is for 2 marks, not an issue. Okay, hope you guys are understanding. Any doubts are there? Whatever I'm discussing, you can mention in the comment section. Definitely, I'm going to revert back to you guys. Now see here. Read the given data, analyze and answer the question below. What the data is given here? Water is added to the beaker containing calcium oxide. For this, water is been added to the calcium oxide. When sulfate crystals are heated, the green color of these crystals will disappear. This is the data, and they ask two questions here. Identify the exothermic and endothermic reaction out of these two. Now, to the calcium oxide, when we add the water, it will form calcium hydroxide. What will form? Calcium hydroxide, and heat is generated. Heat is generated. Okay, so this is which type of reaction? Exothermic reaction. Which one? This one. This one is exothermic reaction. Adding of water to the calcium oxide, lot amount of heat is generated. Now when sulfate crystals are heated, we are supplying the heat. Then when the decomposition reaction happening, this is an example for the endothermic reaction. This is example for the endothermic reaction. What is the now see here. Next question. What is the reason of the disappearing of the green color of the ferrous sulfate crystals? We all know that ferrous sulfate FeSO4, which color it is? It is a green color. It is a green color compound. When it is heated, it will form ferric oxide Fe2O3. It is a white color plus sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide gas will be liberated. But here they are not asking the equation. What they are telling? Determine the type of this reaction. This type of reaction is which type of reaction? Decomposition reaction, or we can call it as thermal decomposition reaction, as we are supplying the heat to break down the ferrous sulfate, and this hydrous ferrous sulfate will become anhydrous. Actually, it is FeSO4.7H2 will be there. Hydrated compound, that's why the color is green. When because of the loss of water, the green color compound ferrous sulfate, hydrated ferrous sulfate will convert into ferric oxide, which is white in color. This is how you are supposed to write the answer point wise, then only you will get full marks. Hope this is clear. If you want, you can take the screenshot. Still you are having doubt, mention in the comment section. Definitely I am going to help you all. Now see here. Answer the following situation A and B. Answer the questions given. Okay, analyze the following situation A and B. Two situations are given. Copper powder turns black when it is heated. Okay. Second one, if hydrogen gas is passed over the heated black color copper powder, then the copper will be formed with the water vapors. Write the balanced chemical equation for the above situations. Now see, first one, copper will react with the oxygen. It will form the black color compound. That is copper oxide. Yes or no? copper oxide. Now hydrogen gas is passed with this copper oxide, black color compound. Then what happens? CuO plus hydrogen, it will form copper plus water. We should form copper plus water. Very simple. Now, how can hydrogen be considered as a reactive element? Why? Because in the reactive series, copper is below the hydrogen. Hydrogen is more reactive than the copper. So, hydrogen is displacing the copper. That means addition of copper is happening to the copper oxide. Reduction is taking place. So hence hydrogen, as hydrogen is more reactive than the copper, it is displacing the copper from the copper oxide. That's the reason. That's how you are supposed to write. Very simple question. Next one. This I told 100 times. I told you that when I am making previous videos and all. Definitely one salt, their chemical name, molecular formula, preparation uses. But you are very lucky. What they ask, they just ask the molecular formula, and any one use they ask. And that is carries the 3 marks. Very simple. Now say bleaching powder, molecular formula CaCl2, calcium oxychloride, plaster of Paris CaCSO4, hemihydrate H2O, then sodium carbonate Na2CO3. Yes or no? Use this. Yes. Bleaching powder is used as an what? In the paper and soap making. Bleaching powder is used as a disinfectant to kill the germs in the purification of water or in the swimming pools. Plaster of Paris is used for what? For supporting the fractured bones in the right position. Sodium carbonate, that is the washing soda they are speaking about, used to remove the permanent hardness of the water to bleach the cotton and textile industries. So many are there. Very simple. 3 marks. Very one use and their molecular formula. Next question, 24th question. What is strong acid? How is tooth decay caused? Mention the measure. This also I told 100% it will come, and it has come. Every year it will come. In board exam also this question will come. First one, what is strong acid? The acid which in their aqueous state which will produce more number of H plus ions, or completely ionized to produce the H plus ions, we call it as a strong acid, like H2SO4, HCl and all. Yes. Then how is tooth decay caused? When any leftover food is there between the teeth and all, the bacteria, certain bacteria present in the mouth will degrade that food and producing the acid which will lower the pH value below 5.5, and that acid will start corroding the tooth enamel. That's how the tooth decay is caused. And how to prevent it? How will prevent that? By using the basic toothpaste, cleaning your teeth with the brushing the teeth for 2 times and all. We can write very general question and answer. Next one, see here. That is what is the difference between the concentrated and the dilute acid? Very simple again. Very simple question. Concentrated acid and dilute. Concentrated acid means the acid which contains very less amount of water and more amount of acid. Dilute acid means which will contain more amount of water and less amount of acid. We call it as a dilute acid. How do you detect the acids and bases using litmus paper? We have blue litmus paper and red litmus paper. When you dip the red litmus paper in any solution, if the color is changing into red to blue, that solution is what? That solution is base. If that solution will change from blue to red, that particular solution will be acidic in nature. Very simple. Very nice question paper. And explain the reason. Now see here. Next question, A and B. While diluting an acid, the acid should be added to water. Explain the reason. We should add acid to the water, not water to the acid. If we add water to the acid, it is a highly exothermic reaction. Lot amount of heat is generated that might splash or beaker might burst and spill that acid on us and cause the harm to us. That's the reason we will add the acid into required amount of water slowly by constant stirring. This also I told 100% they will ask, and they ask the same thing. Now, write any two difference between the acids and bases. Acids will produce H plus ions, bases will produce OH minus ions. Acids are sour to taste, bitter to bases are bitter to taste. Very simple, two difference. Now here there is an interesting question. So many of them will get confused. How do you detect? How will you find a solution as a basic solution by using blue litmus? So this is a solution which is a basic in nature, and they given only the blue litmus paper and ask you to tell how do you determine this is a basic solution. What we'll do, we'll dip the blue litmus paper, the color will not change, or the blue litmus might change little bit dark blue. Then we will tell this is the basic solution with the help of the blue litmus paper. Yes or no? It is not changing into red color. That's how you are supposed to write. Understood? When you dip the blue litmus paper into the basics, that solution, the color remains same, or the color will change into dark blue and it will not change into red. Hence, we tell that this solution is a basic solution. Name any two products that are formed in the chlor-alkali process. They didn't ask any uses. They just tell name the products. Just write. So sodium hydroxide is there. We have chlorine and we have hydrogen. So this is all about the chemistry part. Okay. Next one is we are going to discuss about the biology. After that, my friend or my colleague Amit sir will discuss about the physics. Let us see here. First question. 26th question. What is there in this question? Carbohydrates in the plants are stored in the form of what? Very simple. That is the starch. It will store in the form of starch. Very simple. Okay. Next one. Structures that perform the exchange of the oxygen and the carbon dioxide are called as what? Those are called as alveoli. Very simple. Next one. Important roles. This one. Again, this one. It's not complicated, it's very simple. Role of the synapse in the neural communication. Synapse is the gap between the nerve ending of one neuron and the dendrites of the another neuron, which will help in facilitating the communication between the neurons. Facilitating the communication between the neuron is a correct answer. Now next one, see here. This is of the 2 marks, 2 questions are there. What is double circulation? Very simple. I told double circulation, definitely they'll ask one question. Yes or no? Did I say? Double circulation. Blood flows across the heart twice to complete each cycle, or one cycle we call as double circulation. One is the pulmonary circulation and systematic circulation. That's it, 1 mark. Nothing to write. Now next question, see here, 30th question. The folding of leaves in sensitive plant, that is touch me not plant, for a touch is not a tropism, or it is not a tropical movement. It is not a tropical movement, or is not a tropism. Clarify the reason. Here, this is which movement? This is the nastic movement. The folding of leaves in sensitive touch plant for a touch is not a tropism, because it is not depending on the direction. It is not depending on the direction. And it is not depending on the growth. Hence, the folding of leaves in a sensitive plant is called so and so. Very simple. Next one, see here. This one, 2 marks question so nicely. They ask only one word. The mineral essential for the production of the thyroxine is insulin. Is what? Is insulin. The gland that secretes the insulin is pancreas. They ask the gland. Very simple. Next one, hormone that stimulates the growth of the plant stem towards the light. That is the auxin hormone. That is the auxin hormone. Tropism, in which plant root grows towards the soil, we call it as geotropism. Geotropism. Very simple. Very simple. Yes. Very nice question paper. They have prepared. Now, I told you while making the most expected 30 questions that 3 diagrams are very important. I didn't told the heart. Apart from heart, I told nephron, brain and stomata. Stomata is not, but these 2 diagrams they ask. See here. The diagram to show the structure of the nephron and label only the glomerulus. Very simple. Okay. And here the brain diagram. 33 question you see here. 33rd question here. Functioning of the reflex arc is more effective than the thinking process of the brain or the cerebrum. Clarify this statement with an illustration. Take an example when touching the hot object. The receptor receive the information, carry that information through the sensory neuron to the spinal cord. Spinal cord will make the decision and integrate it and send the information back to the motor neuron to the effectors, and suddenly we withdraw our hand within a fraction of a second. That means it is helping the organism to save from the dangerous situation. It's not causing the harm to the organism because of the reflex action, the sudden, immediate and quick response by the body to the stimulus because of the reflex action, where the nerve impulse are traveling. The pathway through which the nerve impulse travel during the reflex action is called as the reflex arc. But when it comes to thinking part of the brain, during that situation, it will take much more time than compared to that of the reflex action, where the reflex arc will play an important role. Diagram of the brain, very simple. I told one again in the board exam. I'm telling you these two diagrams will appear. Go back and check. I'm telling you, go back and check the most expected 30 questions what I prepared. If these questions are not there, if I not discuss, you can unsubscribe my channel. That's the reason. Please do subscribe. And if any doubts are there, you can just clarify by mentioning in the comment section. Next one's here. List the different methods of the excretion that are found in the plants. Which are there? Again, one is removal of the oxygen through the stomata, removal of the water through the transpiration, formation of the resins and gums, storage of the waste product in the old xylem tissues, wilting of the leaves, ripening of the fruit, everything. Okay, very simple. Next one here. Justify the following statement. The function of the xylem tissues and the process of transpiration are correlated. Yes, they are correlated. I told you, right? When the water molecules will escape from, this is the xylem, and this is the water molecule will escape to the stomata through the transpiration into the atmosphere in the form of water vapor. Here creates the low pressure, and the water molecule start moving from high pressure towards the low pressure. That creates the suction force or suction pull inside the xylem vessel. Hence the xylem tissue and the process of transpiration are correlated. If the xylem want to transport the water from the roots to all the parts of the body, only when the transpiration occurs. Remember, that transpiration creates the suction pull inside the xylem tissue. So this is clear. Then the amount of hemoglobin pigment determines the amount of energy that is produced in our body. Definitely, hemoglobin main function is, anyway the blood is moving to all the parts of the body. Hemoglobin is carrying the oxygen. It is an oxygen carrier. It will bind the oxygen and it will transport to all the parts of the body. If the required amount of hemoglobin is there, then only the cells will gain more amount of oxygen and it will break down the glucose to produce more amount of energy. If the less amount of hemoglobin is there, then the supply of oxygen is less, then definitely the production of energy will be less. That's the reason they're telling the amount of hemoglobin pigments determine the amount of energy that is produced in our body. Very simple. Or they ask, this one I think so many of them they got confused. Frog, peacock and fish. Arrange these animals on the basis of their increasing order of the amount of energy generation. Very simple. Fish, first fish will come, then frog will come, then peacock will come. Increasing order of their energy production. Why? Fish is 2-chambered heart, frog is 3-chambered heart, peacock is 4-chambered heart. Definitely the energy production will be more in the peacock. This is very simple, but most of them will be confused. I know. If an or option is given, you can write. Very simple. Next one, see here, guys. This also I told long answers. Yes or no? I discussed, right? Yes. Digestion in the stomach and the large intestine. See here. Mention the function of the gastric juice, intestinal juice in the human digestive system. Gastric glands, inner lining of the stomach will be having gastric glands, will secrete the gastric juice, which will be having HCl, pepsin and mucus. HCl will make the food acidic and kills the germs. Pepsin will break down the proteins into amino acids. Mucus will protect the inner lining of the stomach. Then when it comes to the small intestine receives the secretion from the liver and pancreas. Liver will secrete the bile juice, which will make the it will convert the acidic food into alkaline, and bile salts will break down the large fat globules into small fat globules. Pancreas will secrete the pancreatic juice, which will be having two enzymes. One is trypsin and lipase. Trypsin will break down the proteins into amino acids when the food is in alkaline medium. Lipase will break down the fats into fatty acid and glycerol. Very simple. Okay, that is for how many marks? 4 marks. And the remaining intestinal juice will break down the fats, carbohydrates, or the proteins into their simplified nutrients, and the finger-like structures villi will absorb the digested nutrients. Very simple. Now see, your next question is differentiate any two different aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration takes place in the presence of oxygen. Anaerobic respiration takes place in the absence of oxygen. Aerobic respiration, more amount of energy is generated around 38 ATP molecules. Here only 2 ATP molecule, only less energy is generated. Here end products are carbon dioxide and water. Here the end products are ethanol and carbon dioxide. Like that you can mention. Very simple. Now see here, how does our body respond when adrenaline hormone is secreted in the blood? What all changes will happen? You need to explain. Okay, A and B, 2 marks it will carry. Okay. Now adrenaline, during the emergency situation, either we need to fight or flight. That's the reason adrenaline hormone is called as flight or fight hormone. During the emergency situation, this adrenaline gland will secrete the adrenaline directly into the blood, where what happened, this hormones will bring out the changes in the body, that there will be less supply of the blood to the skins. The more amount of blood will be supplied to the muscle cells for the energy. Heart rate will increase, breathing rate will increase because of the contraction of the diaphragm and the ribs and all, so that it will ensure that more amount of oxygen supply will be there to the muscle cells to get more amount of energy, and so that the muscles will contract and relax to deal with the emergency situation. You should write step by step. Next one, mention the components of the major role in the human peripheral nervous system. Human components of peripheral nervous system is what? One is the cranial nerves. Another one is the spinal nerves. Cranial nerves are 12 pairs of the cranial nerves will emerge from the skull or the brain to the region of the neck and face, where the get the sensory information from the neck and faces and all. Spinal nerves will be around 31 pairs. Spinal cord will emerge to form the 31 pairs of the spinal nerves, where they will be having sensory neuron and the motor neuron in order to exchange the information from all the parts of the body to the spinal cord, or from spinal cord to all the parts of the body. We can give an example also. Very simple. Next one, see here. Okay, over. That's it. 38 questions were there. Now next my friend is going to come and discuss all the physics questions. Hope you enjoyed this key answers of the SA1 or SSLC midterm board question paper, and I think so you have done well with these questions. Please subscribe to my channel and you go back and just have a look on those most expected 30 questions what I did. Hope all the questions, apart from 2 questions, all other questions were there in the 30 questions. If you have missed that video, please go back and just watch it, and then you can subscribe my channel. Now I call upon my friend Amit sir to discuss about the physics part.
Yes, let us discuss a science 10th class SA1, that is question paper of what science will discuss, physics part. So in this the field lines inside a current carrying solenoid are parallel, hence the magnetic field lines inside a solenoid is what? Equal will be there. Coming to second one, an electric current flowing through a conductor for 2 seconds generates J joules of heat. If the current flowing through the same conductor is doubled and passes for 1.5 seconds, then the amount of heat generated is. Okay, this is an important question, applied question. We are knowing H equals to I square RT. Okay, so first I will take H1, I square as it is, 2 is there and R is there, time is for 2 seconds. We can write it I square 2 I square R. This is first one. When is the same conductor, the current is made half. We are going to use the same relation, that is H equals to I square RT. Now current is doubled, 1 by 2 doubled, sorry, 2I whole square. R is water, R, and time is half second. Now it becomes 4I square R into water, 1 divided by 2, 1 by 2. R into 1 divided by 2. 2 ones are 2 twos are, again we'll get water, 2I square R. In the same cases, same amount of joules we are going to get. So the correct answer is water. This B answer. Joule is a correct answer. Next, name the device used to vary resistance in an electrical circuit is what? A rheostat. So it is an instrument, rheostat. Why does magnetic needle brought near a bar magnet deflect? So if in a bar magnet, north and south pole will be there. Okay, so there will be a force of attraction and force of repulsion will be there. So the magnetic needle is going to what? Deflect that. Next one here is, that is R3. R3 is what? Resistance. Okay, coming to this one here. Here bar magnet is given between the points A and B, in which the point is magnitude of magnetic field lesser. Mention the reason. So this point, at this point we are having what? Lesser magnetic field. Why means these lines of fields are here apart will be there. So this is a point where the magnetic field is what? Less. Next question. State Joule's law of heating. Write the mathematical relation. You have to remember the relation, then easily you can define it. That is H equals to I square RT. Okay. So heat produced will be what? Directly proportional to square of the current, and directly proportional to resistance, and directly proportional to what? Time here. Okay. So this one we call it as what? Mathematical law. Next one, define Ohm's law is that. Okay, Ohm's law is what? That is V equals to IR. Okay, V equals to IR. The potential difference is directly proportional to what? Current. Okay, and next define 1 ohm. 1 ohm is nothing but 1 volt divided by 1 volt first, 1 volt divided by 1 ampere. Okay, 1 volt divided by 1 ampere, that is 1 ohm it is. Okay, draw the schematic diagram of an electric current comprising of 3 resistors R1, R2 and R3 connected in series, a battery, a switch and the devices used to measure the potential difference of the total resistance and electric current. Okay, we can use the diagram this one in this way. This is R1, connected in series is there R2, R3. Okay, here you can use a battery, and a key, and direction of current is very important here. Current flows here in this way, And how to connect the potential difference means what? Voltmeter. Voltmeter always it is connected in what? Parallel. Okay, so this diagram you can draw that. Next one, that is ninth question. State right hand thumb rule, write characteristics of magnetic field lines. Okay, this is thumb rule. It shows, thumb shows the direction of current. This forefinger shows what? Direction of the magnetic field. Okay, and four characteristics easily you can write that. And next one, Fleming's left hand rule. Fleming's left hand rule. Hold your thumb, forefinger and middle finger mutually perpendicular to each other. This forefinger shows the magnetic force, okay, motion, and this is a magnetic field, and this is what? A current. Next, find the amount of charge flowing in a circuit in 1 ampere of current flows for 5 minutes in a circuit. First, let us write here what is given here. Correct? Find the amount of water charge is there. Charge means water. Q you have to find there. Current is water. I, 1 ampere. And the time is given. Time is how much? 5 minutes is there. But we have to convert it for water. Seconds. So therefore it becomes water 5 into 60. So this 300 seconds will get. So Q equals to water. What is Q? Q equals to charge into current into water, time. Okay. So this will get 1 into water, 300. Q equals to water, 300 coulombs. 300 coulombs there. Okay. First. Start. Okay, we'll go for B question. If 2 joules of work done in bringing 1 coulomb of charge from a point to another point, then what is the potential difference between these 2 points? So here W is given. W equals to water, 2 joules is given. And Q is given. Q is how much charge? Charge is given here, 2 joules of work done in bringing 1 coulomb, 1C. 1C, correct? But we know that formula V equals to W by Q. W by Q. Potential difference equals to work done divided by charge. So this W is water, 2 joules is there, and Q is water, 1 coulomb is there. So it becomes what? V equals to water, 2 volt. Potential difference is also measured in water, volt. So potential difference is volt, and this is water, 2 volt. Next one, find the work done in 9C of charge moves between 2 points having a potential difference of water, 9 volt. Again we are going to use the same formula here. Same formula. V equals to W divided by Q. Now work done you have to find. Q is what here? Q is 9 coulomb is there. Charge is given. Moves between a potential difference of 9 volt is there. V is given. V, 9 volt. And we can write, we have to find work done here. W equals to what? Question mark. W, work done you have to find that. So W equals to what? V into Q. V is what? 9 volt into Q is what? 9C. So it becomes what? Work done equals to 81 joules. Work done is measured in what? Joules there. Next, what is electric current if three of the 3C of charges flows through point in and 3 seconds is given. Okay, again we are going to find what a electric current here. So this one, charge is given, Q equals to 3C is there, and time is given, 3 seconds is there. Correct? Q equals to I equal to question mark. What is the formula? What is the formula? I equal to W by Q. I equal to W by Q. First Mati. I equal to. So here we'll write I equals to question mark. I equal to Q by T. Q is how much? 3 seconds is there. 3 coulombs is there. Time is what? 3 seconds. So it becomes what? 1 ampere. Current is what? 1 ampere. So next question, 11th question. What is overload is that? Means the flow of extra current. That only we call it as what? Overload we call. So whatever required amount is there, no more than the excess of current will come, no, that we call it as what? Overload there. Next, what are the causes for overloading of domestic electric circuit? What are the causes? One is 3 or more the appliances are connected for one socket. Okay, that is one. And live wire and neutral wire come in contact. That is another reason. You can write that. Next, what is the function of an electric earth wire? So this earth wire functions, whatever excess of flow of current will come, no, that is going to move towards the earth. Means the severe shock will not get for the person who touches the metal bodies like refrigerator and all. And one more, the whatever home gadgets will be there, no, that will remain water safe. Next, what is electric power is that? The consumption of energy we call it as an electric power. The SI unit is what? Watt we call. And write 3 formula for electric power. P equals to VI, P equals to I square V, P equals to what? V square? V square by R. These are the 3 relations there. Okay. Coming to next question. What is the function of a fuse? So what is the function of a fuse means? Whenever the extra amount of flow of current will come, no, that wire will disconnect that. The home circuit, the current will water breaks. That is fuse wire function. What is the difference between the wire used in a filament of bulb and wire used in fuse with respect to their melting points? So in filament of a bulb, correct, that is tungsten we are going to use. That tungsten will be having what? A high melting point will be there. Whereas coming to fuse wire, here low melting point will be there. So this is about what? Part A physics there. Okay, thank you.